Hi children, it's time for a story, and today we're going to read 50 utterly funny stories, another story from this book, and we're going to read this one today, which is called Lazy Jack. There was once a young man whose name was Jack, and he lived with his mother on a common. They were very poor. Jack's mother earned a living by spinning, but Jack was lazy and he did nothing but bask in the sun in hot weather and sit by the fire in winter time. So people called him Lazy Jack. His mother could not get him to do anything for her. Eventually, one Monday, she could not stand it any longer. She told him that if he did not begin to work for his porridge, she would have to turn him out to fend for himself. This brought Jack to his senses, and the very next day he went out and hired himself to a neighbouring farmer for a penny. He laboured all day for his money, but as he was coming home, he lost his hard-earned coin while passing over a brook. "You stupid boy," said his mother. "You should have put it in your pocket." "I'll make sure I do so next time," replied Jack. On Wednesday, Jack went out again and hired himself to a cowherd, who gave him a jug of milk for his work. Jack took the jug and put it into the large pocket of his jacket, spilling it all before he got home. "Dear me," said his old mother, "you should have carried it in your hands." "I'll make sure I do that next time," replied Jack. On Thursday, Jack hired himself to be a cheesemaker, who agreed to give him a cream cheese for his services. In the evening, Jack took the cheese and went home clutching it tight in his hands. By the time he got home, the cream cheese had all melted, and it was dripping between his fingers. "You stupid boy," said his mother. There he is with his cheese in his fingers. "You stupid boy," said his mother. "You should have carried it in a bag." "I'll make sure I do next time," replied Jack. On Friday, Jack again went out and hired himself to a baker, who gave him a large cat for his work. Jack thrust the cat into the bag, threw it over his shoulder, and began striding home. But the furious animal fought so hard to get out of the bag that Jack's back was soon scratched to ribbons, and he was forced to let it go. When Jack got home, his mother said to him, "You silly fellow, you should have tied a string around its neck and led it along after you." "I'll make sure I do that next time," replied Jack. On Saturday, Jack hired himself to a butcher, who rewarded him with the handsome present of a shoulder of mutton. Jack took the mutton, tied a string round it, and trailed it along after him in the dirt, so that by the time he had got home, the meat was completely spoiled. His mother was by this time quite out of patience with him. The next day was Sunday, and now they were going to have to make do with just cabbage for their dinner. "You ninny hammer," she said. "You should have carried it on your shoulder." "I'll make sure I do so next time," replied Jack. On the following Monday, Jack hired himself to a shepherd, who gave him a donkey for his trouble. Jack found it difficult to hoist the donkey onto his shoulders, but at last he did it, and began walking slowly home with his prize. Now it happened that in the course of his journey he went past the house of a rich man who lived there with his daughter. She was a beautiful girl, but could not hear or speak. She had never laughed in her life, and the doctors had said she would never speak until somebody made her laugh. This young lady happened to be looking out of the window when Jack was passing her with the donkey on his shoulders, its legs sticking up in the air. The sight was so comical and strange that she burst out into a great fit of laughter and immediately recovered her speech and hearing. Her father was overjoyed and immediately ushered Jack in and offered the girl's hand in marriage. Thus, Lazy Jack became a rich man, and he and his wife were very happy. They had a big house, and Jack's mother lived with them in great happiness until she died. And that's the end of the story. So all those bad things happened to Jack, but in the end, he found himself a wife. So that was a good story in the end, wasn't it? Hope you enjoyed that. Bye.